How to boost your credit score 100 plus points in 30 days without credit repair. Day 19, a hardship letter. Think of a hardship letter as an extreme goodwill letter. This letter is used when you have several late payments or are behind on payments and can bring the account current. In essence, you're asking for a little compassion. Terrible things happen all the time, and we all need a break now and then. Here is a sample letter. Dear Target, I have recently suffered a serious financial hardship when, and then you explain the hardship in moderate detail. Medical emergency, job loss, business failure, natural disaster, whatever it is. As a result of this hardship, I have fallen behind on my account and would like to do what I can to remedy the situation. I have X amount late payments on my credit report as a result of this, and I'm writing to ask as a matter of good faith if you would remove the late payments on this account if I can bring the account current and pay all associated late fees. I would like to salvage my credit and my relationship with you as a creditor, as I've always been a loyal customer for X amount of years. Any help you can provide or any other options you may have are very much appreciated. Sincerely, your name. While we tend to think of lenders as big, unfeel machines, we need to remember that they are caring and feeling people running those machines. People can be reasoned with, provided you have a real hardship. Besides, lenders don't make money by sending your account to collections. Give them a reason to work with you, and you might be surprised by the result. Day 20. Prove it. Obvious as it may seem, it still needs to be said. One of the most effective ways to boost your credit scores is to prove the credit bureaus made a mistake. This is very different than disputing. When you dispute, you are asking the credit bureau and your creditors to prove that they are correct. It's a long and tedious process, but effective nonetheless. But there are times when you catch an error, you can prove. For example, this is from the author. He has a video that he shows how he removed a mortgage late for a client who had actually paid on time. His client had paid the principal, but not the interest. Since they accepted the payment, it could not be late. If you wanted to watch that video, howtofixmycredit.com/how to delete a 30-day late. Other similar occurrences the author comes across include a utility bill sent to collections that was paid in full, and you can provide the canceled check. Someone else's name or address appearing on your credit. The same account appearing multiple times on your credit report with the same bureau. A credit card reporting as closed by grantor when it was closed by the customer. A student loan report late when it was in deferment. A car that was repossessed and sold at an auction still reporting the full balance owed. Those are just a few examples that the author has seen time and time again. When you find a legitimate error you have to locate the proof to validate your case. Get the company to do the legwork and find their own error. A canceled check to prove the payment was made, as well as the date it was processed, is always a great form of proof. When the mortgage with the mortgage payment above, the author had to call and get them to look into their own records to find the proof themselves. When you get them to accept they were wrong, make sure you get a letter admitting their mistake. Send the letter to the credit bureaus so they can update your file. Always keep a copy of your proof and all your correspondences with the creditors. Personally, the author, he scans or faxes the documents to himself and keep a file in his Gmail account for each lender. Evernote is also great for that too. It's an application. And if the credit bureaus don't cooperate, then you always have his website, which is howtofixmycredit.com, to help you out. Or you can go to bettercreditguides.com, which is my site, which will also help you out. That being said, let's keep going. After all, if it were easy, then the author would be in a different business. Day 21, pay for deletion. Once your lender writes off your debt, it usually is sold to a collection agency. If they can't collect on the debt, then they'll sell it to yet another collection agency. Whatever they collect over the above what they paid for the debt is their profit. And debt can sell for mere pennies on the dollar. As your debt gets bought and sold, the only record of your account is what is on their spreadsheet. A collection agency doesn't get $10 million worth of paperwork when they buy $10 million worth of debt. Unfortunately, collections can destroy your credit score, and paying them off won't do you much good either. According to FICO, the only things that matter when it comes to a collection is there a collection? When was it reported? Paying it off does nothing to help your score. Once it's on there, it'll stay there for 7 years. The good news is the impact to your score diminishes over time. But still, who wants to wait 7 years? An alternative to waiting is to offer payment in exchange for deletion. If it's deleted, then it's worth the pain, because it no longer hurts your score. There are many scenarios where this may apply. The author can't go into all of them, but he's just going to address the most common scenario. And here's how it works. Section 809A of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act says certain disclosure are required within 5 days after the initial communication with the consumer in connection with the collection of any debt. Section 803 in parentheses 2 says that if a debt collector reports the collection account without first communicating with the consumer directly, then the consumer could reasonably consider the credit reporting itself to be an indirect communication with the consumer through the credit bureau. So if the first time you learned about a collection was seeing it on your credit report, then the credit bureau was the communication medium used by the collector for the initial communication. If that is the case, then you have not received the proper disclosures as provided by Section 809. Did he lose you? Don't worry, just send this letter. Dear Target, I was reviewing my credit report and was shocked to find a collection in the amount of X amount of dollars being reported by your company. I have no idea what this collection is about. Furthermore, it appears you have violated the law which states that you are supposed to notify me of a few things within 5 days of your initial communication. I did not get that communication from you, so it is my understanding you are in violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. While I do not believe this is my debt, it is such a small amount that I am willing to pay in exchange for the removal of this entry from my credit report. It is my opinion that this should never have been reported, and I think we can both agree that it will be easier for all of us if I can simply pay the amount due in exchange for the prompt removal of this item from my credit report. Please respond in writing and let me know if you will accept my offer. Sincerely, Consumer. Note that you're not actually accusing anyone, you're just only suggesting that it may be in violation. No legal action is threatened. Only use this with new collections that you can pay in full. What is recommended by the author. Day 22, get approved for new credit. Another strategy for boosting your credit score by lowering your debt ratio and improving your credit mix is to add a new credit card. The author was working with a client not so long ago, and the client was self-employed and he tried to buy a house. Actually, he was building a 1.5 million home in Colorado. The lender said he needed a 720 FICO to qualify for that type of construction loan. Although the author's client had never missed a payment, his scores were only around 680. So when the author looked at his credit, he realized the problem, that his client had no credit cards. The client told the author he only used an Amex Black Card. That's a charge card where you have to pay the balance in full each month, and it doesn't show on your credit report unless you're late. So we had him add 2 new credit cards, and he both got $5,000 limits through Chase on both of them. Within the next 45 days, his scores all jumped to over 800. When you're building credit, it's wise to focus on just 2 revolving accounts. Work to build your credit limits up to at least $5 on each. You may also have to start with a secured, You may have to start with a card that charges an annual fee. That's okay, as long as it's with a major lender. Over time, they'll drop the fees and upgrade your account. Just follow the strategies that were taught in lesson about increasing your credit limits. 2 revolving bank cards and 1 to 2 retail cards. Just make sure you don't go shopping around or the inquiries will drag your credit score down. Meaning don't go shopping around for different credit cards applying, because the inquiries for those applications that are going to be checked on your credit, the inquiries will bring your score down drastically. It happened to me, but I knew it was going to be happening. So I wasn't surprised. A good site for finding out where to apply is this one. So this one you're going to actually be opting in. And by doing that, you're going to start receiving credit offers. Day 23, removing inquiries. Inquiries are a record of requests to see your credit report. There are two types of inquiries, hard and soft. A hard inquiry occurs when your credit is pulled in connection with a firm credit offer. So if you apply for a mortgage or credit card, that's a hard inquiry. Hard inquiries make up 10% of your credit score. They will remain on your credit for 2 years, but really only affect your score the first year. In order to obtain a credit report on a person, the person or company pulling the credit must have permissible purpose. Your written authorization is the most common permissible purpose. Some others include employment, underwriting, insurance, or a court order. Removing hard inquiries is usually a matter of requesting the permissible purpose or claiming they had none and demanding an explanation. Generally, you contact the creditor or collection agency directly. The credit bureaus will tell you to go direct as well. Here is a sample letter. So, regarding unauthorized credit inquiry. Dear creditor, while reviewing a recent copy of my Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax, whichever report it is, credit report, I noticed a credit inquiry by your company that I did not recall authorizing. Please have this inquiry removed from my credit file as soon as possible. Since I have no recollection or authorizing your inquiry, I have sent this letter certified mail because I need your prompt response to this issue. I would greatly appreciate receiving a written response that you have had the unauthorized inquiry removed. If you find that I am mistaken and can provide written authorization and permissible purpose, then please send me proof of both. Thanks in advance. Your name and social security number. And I'll stop there. Next video we'll cover day 24 and try to knock out the 30 days.